Hey everybody, it's your pal Drew Geraci. I got some more comics from my spinner rack, and some I just bought that are going to find a home in my spinner rack. Immortal Doctor Fate. When I grew up reading comics, I was a Marvel nut, but there were some DC characters I liked, not just Batman. But Doctor Fate, I like the costume, but I've never really liked him. His powers are too vague. I mean, he's sort of a Lord of Order. He was appointed that by Nabu, or Nabu, however you say it, and he's sort of just the chosen one. He goes after chaos as an agent of order. So, Walt Simonson cover representing the one of the stories inside this. This is back when Marvel and DC were flooding the markets with real high quality reprints on Baxter paper. Baxter paper, remember that word? You probably haven't heard it in a billion years. 1984, yeah. It started off with, there was 3 issues of Neil Adams, Roy Thomas's X-Men on shiny paper, and it was recolored, but and then they also had ones that were just on the non-shiny paper, which I much prefer. So, here we go. This is the trippiest. First, I showed this in an episode where I discussed the first issue specials. Number 9 has a beautiful cover by Joe Kubert, but the interiors is by Walt Simonson. But this is from Secret Origins that came out very late in the 70s, and it's Paul Levitz, great writer. Gardner Fox and Hal Sherman created him. Not Paul Levitz, but Dr. Fate. Joe Staton and Mike Nasser, who has a very strong Neil Adams style because he worked at the Continuity Studios with him, and he learned a lot. So it is, I like it, but I would not like it I wouldn't like an ongoing with this combination. It's just they're working at both ends, so opposite ends, I guess. And it makes it kind of murky. And a lot of the Joe Staton is taken out of the faces and the images. Like I said, I dig it for now. Dig it for now, listen to me. So basically, as a kid, he went with this mentor to find a sarcophagus, and the person that was inside was Nabu. Nabu decided they needed an agent of order in mortal form. So, and this origin has a really nice twist to it. Levitz decided he was going to have the origin told by his mortal wife's point of view. I love the black one. I would swear that Mike Nasser did that black spotting, they call it, is when you fill in the areas with black, you shadow it. Very Howard Chaykin looking. And I'm a nut for Chaykin. So it seems really murky. I don't even remember looking at it before with the regular paper how murky it must be. Gardner Fox and Hal Sherman. So, from the Golden Age. That's why the art's a lot simpler. But it's clear storytelling. It's very well done. And then we move on to Dr. Fate. I love that. I picture posing like that on the street. Like, yeah, man, I'm badass. And then probably get my ass kicked. When evil strikes and chaos is unleashed upon the universe, and those who live by order scream in anguish, one man alone is equal to the challenge. He alone wields the power to match the dark forces. For he is more than a man. He is Dr. Fate. And Martin Pasco writes it. Walt Simon draws it. Jerry Conway's the editor. So it's a 1-2 punch. And I doubt Conway really edited anything. Sometimes in the 70s, a lot of times you just kind of check for... Sometimes you check for spelling, or maybe you'll get an intern to do that if there's a mistake. And also, a big thing, this is a fanzine thing that became a comics thing, which they kind of done away with, which I kind of miss, is incorporating sound effects like wham and other stuff into the art, integrated. It's kind of been, fluffed off now. A lot of people want just straight panels. But really great stuff. I'm such a fan of Simonson. Really enjoyable stuff. Really, really cool. So, we should go to Justice League Europe, first issue. By story by Giffen and DeMatteis, the same writers who did Justice League Incarnation. It started in 1987. This started in '89, 2 years later, because Justice League was wildly popular with these two guys and Kevin Maguire. Well, they got Bart Sears, a fairly new guy on the scene, and Pablo Marcos, longtime inker for like 15 years prior, replicating the cover of issue 1 of the Justice League from 1987. But now you got Rocket Red, you got Animal Man, which I think is cool. Flash. He's written to be a kind of a prick. It's Wally West, and he was never really a prick. But Metamorpho, Power Girl, Captain Atom, and you got Elongated Man with Wonder Woman. So you can tell this is a Giffen layout just by seeing how things are arranged. Most of this issue has to do with Captain Atom questioning his that they chose him to be the chairman, the leader, and so he's just got a lot of neurosis, and he meets who is it? The Paris embassy chief for the League. She's the ambassador. This is shitty printing though. Ugh, it's a drag. But if it's collected, I'll have to get it. And it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Maxwell Lord. Like a lot of books at the time, there was a lot of talking heads. And it's good if you're reading the whole thing. But here's my hang up. With both series, there was a lot more blah, 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 bwahaha. And, you know, I see like a team like this, I would love to see them fight. I don't think he does anything. Animal Man, I love him. And maybe because Grant Morrison, you know, breathed new life into him. But you got a great team here. It's like, let's have some more action. In the original Justice League of '87, like the first half year had some action in it, and then after that it got lighter and lighter and lighter. Once in a while Lobo would show up, or Green Lantern would do something, but you know, you got a nice line. Why bother having a nice lineup if they're just going to jaw all day? So, because I remember after a while I quit both books because it was sort of like a lot of jokes got regurgitated. No, women. I think a lot about women. Because he's like, is money all you think about? So, Captain Atom, he has a character arc where at the end he takes charge. There's something very wrong going on. It's like, the problem is somebody's playing games with us, very ugly games. I intend to find out who and why. So he is the boss. Meanwhile, in his own mag, this came out in '87, about the time the original Justice League came out, the original revamp of the Justice League from the '80s. So he wasn't even a member yet, and his hair was shorter too. By Cary Bates, famous for doing Flash stories and other books, Superman as well, I think. Pat Broderick, who did. It's interesting. He's like a nuclear character, and he did Firestorm as well, who's like a nuclear character, and he does it well. And Bob Smith, who I think penciled, he did some Omega Men series. He does, and also maybe a Peacemaker series. Not sure, but this cover bugs me. I'm sorry. I love Pat Broderick. I love his stuff. In fact, he's doing some crowdfunding stuff now that's the best stuff he's ever done. I swear to God. And I've been a fan of his forever. But that arm just looks wrong. I don't know why. Maybe the fist was a little larger. I know it's a bit of a Kirby thing, indulgent. But it just, sometimes if you draw things accurate, it could still look wrong. And you just kind of fudge it to make it look more dramatic. And then also all this color here is killing. It's very, I don't like it. But that's okay. And also, Bob Smith is an anchor over Broderick. I really don't care for it. I'm sorry, Mr. Smith. It just, look, I'm just as guilty. I inked an issue of Wonder Woman, half an issue, over Scott Collins back in the 90s. And I didn't. It wasn't a good matchup. I didn't do a very good job, sussing out what needed to be done. So, and you see how like simpler things kind of look. You don't see the usual Broderick like that. That's kind of simplified there. A little ham-handed. And as I said, I've been ham-handed before. So it's a lot of talk, a lot of blah. A lot going on. It's good though. It's not wasted words, but it's too much to go into right now. So they're ending up in. Wait, where are they? They are in. Welcome to Cambodia. That's where they are. And they're out to find this magic machine. It's not a mother box, but it is a weapon. And this lady, she wants it for herself. And she's a, what do you call? Like a globe-trotting bounty hunter, something like that. And well, the color's wrong, but I don't mind that for that. But I keep going on that. Finally, Captain Atom shows up. It's like a lot of series of events happens, and it's kind of a funny panel. I'm kind of like, no. But it's a good story. It is good. It just, if I took time to read it, it will be like another 45-minute show, and I'm trying to cut back on that, just because I think there are people who love it, but then there's some people who are probably like, I can't devote that much time to it. So here we go. Okay, I like to collect. I mean, I don't have to get first issues, but if I get last issue, final issues, I'm very intrigued. This was a revamped New Gods that came out in, let's see, what's it say? August 91. Okay, it had been out for 2 years, so it started in 89. And Mark Evanier, who was pretty much by Kirby's side as an assistant when Kirby was doing the Fourth World and New Gods, like from the beginning. And Mark Evanier's had he sort of knows a lot about Kirby's life at that period, and from then on, because they both worked in animation later. And Mark Evanier is very, very. He's done TV, he's done cartoons, live action and cartoons and such, I guess either he or somebody decided to do a New Gods, and they tried it in the 70s with Jerry Conway and Don Newton, and it just wasn't that strong. And it's hard to follow up, but Rick Hoberg is the artist. He did a couple of what if issues I liked. He also did some JSA books later in the series, and the Inkers. And I'll tell you what, 91, even before that, Marvel was putting cover credits on the cover, credits on the cover, and Marvel didn't do it till almost the end of the century. And I remember me and my friend Dusty would like bitch him. It's like, put our names on the cover. DC's doing it. Albert D. Guzman, I worked with him on several Batman titles, The Letterer. So Rick Hoberg is doing the layouts, and he's also co-plotting. And Light Ray, it's basically centered around him. He's more of he's the main character. Nice poses there. That's really cool. So what happens is this woman got killed by a drunk driver, and the guy's so dismissive. Why he isn't in jail, I don't know. He's like, I didn't do it. It's not my fault. You got problems, I got mine. He's just kind of a real monster of a person. Let me see real quick. It's like, sir, I think you better leave right this minute. This is not a joke. I have means to restore her life. And he cares for this mortal woman. That's the man who drunkenly drove the car which took Annie's life, and he has brought flowers. He seems to be finally showing some respect for her existence. No, I don't have any regret. My folks told me I ought to bring flowers. I don't know why. I don't get it. Folks are acting like it was my fault the lady's dead just on account I was driving my car. Don't they get it that I was drunk at the time, that I'm not responsible? It's like, oof. Although I don't know why he wasn't in jail. Maybe it was some technical loophole or something. I'm talking out of my ass. Talking out of my ass, yeah. So you got some nice Orion stuff going on here. And it turned out the dead woman had a part of the anti-life equation in her, and Light Ray, needed her for that. Also, he was falling in love with her, but let's bring her back. I like the hair, really nice stuff there. Man, very Mignola there in the middle. Wait, that dispatcher was ordered to bring Anne to Darkseid. That must mean she possessed part of the anti-life equation. That is why Highfather fears Darkseid's anti-life used on one with the equation. So she gets woken up by a bad guy and discorporates in front. So it's a very odd ending, but this is kind of interesting here. It's a breast cancer ad, and very effective. So now we get to the goods. The other stuff's good. Call him Brother Blood. Oh my gosh, I love that design. Oh my gosh, he runs a cult that is trying to pass off as an actual religion, and even though his name is Brother Blood, and he looks every inch a supervillain. Here, I didn't buy New Teen Titans the first year and a half it came out because it was a DC comic, and I would rather buy a shitty fill-in issue of a Marvel title because it had DC had cooties. However, when I started buying it, I was like, oh my lord, I've been missing out on so much. And this is a few issues later, fantastic story, fantastic character. And what's funny is I love this design, although the Teen Titans, the new Teen Titans, their main threat was Raven's father, Trigon, and I hated that character's design. I love Perez, he hits 99%, but Trigon, with those antlers and stuff like that, he just didn't look scary. This looks scary. He has defeated them all in the previous issue. Really nice stuff. I have this in an omnibus. Big old, it reprints like the first 30 issues. And Perez is doing a lot of tiny panels to tell the story, and he's pulling it off. Some people can't do it that well. And holy crap, look at that. So just look at that, man. It's scary as shit. Total cool. Even the Inquisitors. I don't even know if he has a name. But, some of the team is there, and the other half of the team is at Titan's Tower. And they're sick of cooling their heels. I'm going to wreck some of the workout equipment. Romeo Tangel's doing some real sweet stuff, too. And Robin really gets to shine in this situation. I mean, it's always nice to, because you get lost in the shuffle because he's the only one without superpowers. And this woman, she looks kind of like Barbara Walters at the time, but her name is Bethany Snow for UBC. She has this agenda. She hates the Titans. She's always trying to put egg in their face, and then she talks to Brother of Blood like like he's a nice guy. He goes, "Blood gives life, and I stand for life. My name should no more frighten people than my traditional ceremonial garb." Here we come with the action. Yeah, baby. So great, so exciting. So, of course, she's saying, Robin is being held captive with Kid Flash, actually. The violence continues as Brother Blood desperately tries to defend his church believers from attack. Is this what America's coming to? Are we a country of hooligans and terrorists? So she's just, I don't know, she's not the brightest bulb. So, how about that? Oh, and Raven's always cool. It's always struck me as weird, these two panels, like silent panels. But it's Joe Kubert. So who cares, because it's great. And here you go. They're trying to take him down. He says he's lived for more than 700 years. And he goes to take the ship down. It blows up. But unlike Thunderbird, who died in the X-Men second monthly issue, or bi-monthly issue, Cyborg is still alive. Although I guess they don't show it yet. So... and then we get the intergalactic stuff going on. I love these designs. Ooh. And it's Starfire's evil sister. Her name is, well, this one, I think what her name is. Oh, it's like Blackfire or something like Starfire. Starfire's name is Coriander, which is a spice, actually. I think that's a great name. And her name is Commander, with like a K and an apostrophe. And needless to say, to be continued. So, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Just very interesting. Well, what I like also is, story-wise, I may be bellyaching about some of these books, but story was everything at the time. And I know I sound like the geezer I am, but I don't see as much. I don't see continuity as much. I just see a lot of shock. And, let's see if we can get it in the, the websites right now with this crazy story, or just stupid stuff, But here's some great DC stuff from the 80s. And let me know what you think, what do you think of Justice League Europe? Are you a Dr. Fate fan from way back when? How about Captain Atom, which actually needs to be collected sometime? What do you think about The New Gods, which start off with Paris Cullins as the penciler? I'm not keen on this, but that's just me. Anybody with Kirby, it's just very weird. Even in, man. Okay, that's it, everybody. Let me know your comments below, please. I don't argue with anybody, even if I disagree on their choice of like artists and stories and characters. I love the conversation because it's like a community. People say that all the time, a community. But I love I love the dialogue, and I love people's other experiences. If we share experiences through comic books, which is probably the most wonderful thing as a hobby, then leave comments below, and please double check if you're still subscribed and the bell is still ringing, because there are other shows that are much larger, amount of subscribers that are not giving notifications to the, to the customers and me, to the viewer, and just be safe. All right, everybody, I'm out. Take care, everybody.